Good evening, parents. I hope you guys are doing really well. It's my pleasure to announce to you that we have officially prepared our Google Forms and our processes to allow all of our parents and students to start looking at the CCAs that we have on offer at Crescendo-HELP International School. Now, we have changed the process slightly compared to maybe a few years ago. Those parents who have been with us since the beginning will notice a big difference. But what we're trying to do is streamline our processes a lot more than what we have been used to, so that we can actually accommodate all of our students. We are really, really excited to announce that we have a range of CCAs that will take place during this term and obviously going forward in following terms as well. And we have also been able to secure some external CCA providers that will be able to offer some very exciting CCAs for all of our students to enjoy and sign up to. Now, the purpose of today's short video is just to share with you the sign-up process and also familiarize all of our parents to what kind of CCAs we have on offer and how you'll be able to see that information. So what will happen is very shortly you will be able to access the Google form, and I will just talk you through the process and some of the features of the Google form that we've created, and also be able to share with you the CCA list in a bit of detail and go through some of the areas of that list so that you're a bit more familiarized with it. Now, I do appreciate that there will be some initial kind of confusion maybe, but I promise you, if you just watch this video, you'll get used to it quite quickly. So when you get your Google form, you will receive this first page that you see in front of us. Now, it's really important that you read through all the information that we are providing on these, because every bit of information is important. So it says over here, CCA sign up. All CCA sign-ups will take place via this Google form, so please make sure you follow the steps below. Number one, watch the video for information on submitting the form. This is exactly what we are wanting to show you now. If you look at the second point, it says this is a list of CCA activities on offer. If you click on this link, you'll be able to see all of our activities. So I'm going to take you there right now. So what will happen is when you click on that link that you just saw, you will be brought to this page. Now, this page has a couple of features that you need to be familiar with. Number one, we have this drop down over here, which is a list of all of our year groups that have CCAs. So now, as you can see, purely for year one, there are 3 CCAs. For year 1 to 2, there are 7, etc. So depending on the CCA, some of them will be applicable just for year 1 students. Some of them might be applicable for a range of students. So you can go through this list and have a look at what kind of CCAs are on offer for which year groups. Now, just to give this a bit of meat, I'm going to use my daughter as an example. Now, my daughter is in year 2, and I'd like to have a look at what CCAs are on offer at CHIS so that I can make a decision about what CCAs I want her to sign up to. Now, obviously, we don't expect you to look through every single CCA, so we made it easier this time. So the first thing you want to do is, if you click on this tick box, this checkbox over here, it will deactivate all of the checkboxes. And then because I'm choosing or I'm looking for my daughter and she's in year 2, I'm going to type in Y2. Okay, now as soon as I've typed that in, I don't have to press enter. It's now showing me year 1 to 2, year 2, and year 2 to 6. Okay, and in total, I can see that there's 7 plus 2 plus 2. So there's, check my maths, there's 11 CCAs that my daughter will be able to do throughout the week. Okay, so I want to have a look at all of those CCAs. So I'm going to click on this checkbox over here, just above the magnifying glass, and then I will just click away. And I can see all of the CCAs that are on offer for my daughter. And my daughter is obviously in year 2, so you can see that these are applicable for my daughter. Okay, so that's the first thing. Okay, now if you look through this list, you'll notice that some of the CCAs are grey and white, and some of the CCAs are blue. Just for your information, the blue CCAs are external CCAs. External CCAs will have a fee attached to it, and if you look at the final column over here, that fee outline, that structure is outlined in this final column. So for example, if I want my daughter in year 2 to take 043, which is Chumbaka, she will be able to, she'll have to pay, or I'll have to pay 300 ringgit per term, and also bring their own laptop or MacBook with a mouse to the CCA activity. So I need to decide at that point whether I am able to pay 300 ringgit per term and then also provide my daughter with a laptop or MacBook and a mouse in order to do that CCA. You'll also see that it says external over here. This column over here will tell you which day this CCA will take place. And then finally, this column gives you some indication of what this CCA will be about. Okay, so this is really useful for you to have a look at. Let's say, for example, I know that I want my daughter to only do CCAs on a Monday. Okay, so I can then uncheck everything over here in the second drop-down menu, and I can just choose Monday. So when I choose Monday and I click away, I realize I can see over here that there are 3 CCAs available for my daughter on Monday. Year 1 to 2, there's 001 oil pastels. Okay, that's an internal CCA, and from the remarks, obviously there's nothing that I would need to pay. Now bear in mind there may be some internal CCAs where you'll have to provide an additional fee for resources and equipment. All of that information will be available on this particular column. Okay, I can see there's fantastic board games. That's an internal CCA, that's on Monday as well. And then finally there is 006, which is year 2 origami, and that's also available on Monday. So what I need to do at this point is I want to have a look at which CCAs I would like to do. Now, if my daughter is a primary student, in which case she is, I am only allowed to choose one CCA that is internal. There's no fees towards that, and I can then choose 5 more external paid CCAs for the rest of the day. So let's say, for example, I chose the oil pastel creativity, which is 001. Okay, that's going to be happening on a Monday, and that is the free CCA that's included in my normal school fees. I would then want her to do some external CCAs. I can then have a look at what else is available. So if I click on this drop down again and I click on the rest of the days over here when CCAs are running for my daughter, I can see that there is a CCA on Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. So these are some externals. I can see over here there are 2 external CCAs on Tuesday. Now, if I wanted to, I can sign her up to both of those. Well, one of those, because I can't do 2 CCAs in one day. So then I'd have to choose either Chumbaka or Diablo for the Tuesday, and then take note of the remarks. So just to recap, let's say, for example, I would like my daughter to do 1 CCA. Okay, and it's going to be the oil pastel CCA. I can see over here that the code says 001. So that means I will have to make a mental note of that or write it down somewhere, because I'll have to then enter that into the Google form that I'll be using. Okay, so I've decided that my daughter will be doing the year 2 001 oil pastel creativity CCAs. What I want to do then is go to my Google form again. Okay, and just continue reading over here. It says parents will be sent a submission password. You will get a secret password that you must keep with yourself. Please don't share this with your child or your children. Please don't share with anybody else. That is a password that you will need, and you will have to type that password in at the end of this Google form to show that you have been a part of this decision-making process. If you do lose that password, just check back on your email and you will find it there. At the end of the Google form, you'll have to enter this password exactly and then click submit. Please bear in mind that the Google form will be activated from 7 p.m. in the evening on the 9th of September 2022. So it's really important that you obviously keep an eye on that date, and at 7 o'clock the Google form will open. Prior to that, you will not be able to make any submission. You can look through the Google form, but you can't make any submissions. Now, here's a couple of notes. Primary parents, please log in via your child's school email. We understand that your child will not be able to make any decision, may have trouble logging in. So please log into your child's school email address and password and complete this Google form. So the most important thing, whether you're a primary or a secondary parent, is that you have to make sure that your child's email address and password is being used to log into this Google form. You will not be able to submit this form if you don't have a school email address. If you're a secondary parent, you can have your child complete the form, but again, keep the password to yourself. And at the end of this Google form, you have to type the password in without showing your child, and they will be able to, you'll be able to submit it. Now, there is a video. This video is going to be embedded into this Google form, so you can watch it again. Okay, and then there is a guide, a step-by-step guide, which I'll go through in a moment, showing you exactly what you need to do. So the first step, obviously, you have already had a look through. I've had a look through my CCA activities, and I've chosen the year groups that my child is in. In this case, it's year 2. I then will be able to make a note of the CCA activities, and you need to choose 5. If you don't get your first choice because the allocations are full, there's not enough space in that CCA, then your child will get the second choice, and if that is full, they'll get the third or the fourth or the fifth, etc. Okay. Once you've done that, you need to obviously complete this Google form, and I'm going to go through this process with you now. So I'm going to go all the way over here. Now, these are 2 useful contacts that you need to keep an eye on. If there are any issues or any concerns, any questions that you have which are related to CCA options and selections, so you want to know more about CCA, you want to know if a CCA is full, anything like that, or if you need some help to fill the Google form, please contact cca@chis.edu.my. If it is an IT-related issue, like for example, password recovery or the Google form isn't working, please contact ict@chis.edu.my. Okay, so that's the first part of this Google form. So you will see that this Google form appearing, and you'll be able to go. So this is just showing you the video that's been embedded. You'll be able to see each of these steps over here. And what I would like you to do is, obviously, please again make sure you make a note of this. This will be the Google form, so you'll be able to see it. Once you've read through all of that, you click next, and you'll be taken to this page. Now, there's a couple of notes over here for you to read. Number 1, external CCAs will incur a cost, as I mentioned before. Internal CCAs do not have an additional cost unless there is a remark in the CCA list. So the CCA list I showed you, if you choose a CCA for your child, please always check the remark, which is the final column. And if there is any extra cost where you need to purchase some equipment or apparatus, that information will be listed in the final column. Some internal CCA activities, like I said, they require some additional materials or equipment. Primary students, please make sure you can only choose 1 internal CCA that is included in your normal school fees, and then the rest, if you still want to do extra CCAs, you'll have to look and see whether there are any other CCAs available on any other day, and these have to be external CCAs. In every case, where possible, your first choice will be given, and if not, they will be the second choice, etc. Secondary students over here can take up to 2 CCAs, 2 internal CCAs, which are included into the school fees package. And then if you'd like to take 3 more, they will have to be external CCAs, which are paid CCAs. So you'll have to just go through the form and make sure you are selecting the correct ones that work for your child. And the discussion with your child would be quite important in this case. The maximum number of CCAs cannot obviously exceed more than 1 per day, because there's only 1 CCA available per day per student. And also, CCA options are on a first come first served basis. So for example, if I choose my option 1 and that is full, because some other parents have got in there before me. I can only move on to option 2 then, and the school will then choose option 2 as the CCA of choice for my child. So my child is a primary student, so I'm going to click that. Okay, if I click on primary student, it'll take me over to the next page, which will show me a list of primary students. So I just want to make a note about secondary students. So obviously many of our parents are secondary parents and they have their children in the secondary section of our school. You can click on the secondary student. If you do that, please bear in mind that you will have to then select whether you want to do 1 free CCA or 2 free CCA for secondary. Okay, everything else is the same. So if you want to do 2 internal CCAs, you'll have to pick 2 internal CCAs on 2 different days, and that will be option 1 and then option 2. Okay, and everything else will follow after that. So going back over here, my daughter is obviously in primary in year 2. I'm going to pick primary, click on next. And a couple of notes, just to, again, it's a reminder, primary students, option 1 is your most preferred CCA, option 2 is your next preferred, and then option 3 is your next preferred, etc. If you're a secondary student, if you chose to do 1 internal CCA, option 1 is your most preferred CCA, and then the rest of the options are in order of preference. So 2 will be the next, then 3, etc. If you're a secondary student and you chose 2 internal CCAs on 2 different days, option 1 will be your first choice, option 2 will be a second choice, and then the rest of them will be put in order of preference. If your preferred choices are full, we will try our best to allocate the next option for you. So just to show you over here, I can see a list of CCAs available for my daughter on different days. I will have obviously checked the days on the list. So this is just an example. I may have chosen Taekwondo as my first choice for my daughter. And obviously it's year 1 to year 6 Taekwondo. So because my daughter is in year 2, she can do Taekwondo. My second choice, in case she doesn't get her first choice, would be oil pastel and creativity. Now, obviously, remember Taekwondo is actually an external CCA, so that is a paid CCA. So again, it's really important that you read the remarks so that you don't get that wrong. Option 3 is fantastic game boards, in case she doesn't get that. Option 4 is origami, and option 5 is chumbaka. Okay, so again, just to show you what these drop downs look like, they are in order of CCA number. So 001 over here would refer to, I'm just going to show you really quickly, 001 would refer to this code over here, 001. So if you, as long as you match this code, the 001, with your Google form, then you are doing okay. So I'm just going to leave that there. I've chosen 5 options, and I have to choose 5 options. And obviously, number 5 would be a least preferred choice, and you start from order of most preferred and go down. Once you've done all of that, you've chosen 5 options, you click on next. And there is a declaration form. So I, as the parent, have fully understood the following. The CCA availability is on a first come, first served basis, and this will be determined by the date and time of submission. So the sooner you get in, the sooner you will more likely to get your first choice. If my option 1 activity choice is at full capacity, then option 2 may be considered, and so on. My child will not be able to change their CCAs after the 23rd of September. So the 23rd of September is the cutoff date. After that, we can't change any CCAs. No refunds will be provided for the paid external CCA. So if you are doing any paid CCAs, there will be no refunds provided for that. Okay, so please do bear that in mind. External CCAs clearly will incur a cost. Internal CCAs do not have an additional cost unless it's listed in the list of CCAs that I showed you earlier on. And it says over here, primary students can take only 1 internal free CCA, while secondary students can take up to 2. You don't have to take 2 free ones. You can take 1, and the rest of them will be a second and third and fourth choices, etc. Both primary and secondary students can take an unlimited number of external CCAs, obviously, providing that they're available on the dates of your choice, and the maximum number of CCAs cannot exceed more than 1 per day. Once you've understood all that, if you agree to all of that, you need to enter your parent password over here. Now, please make sure you don't share this again with your child or anybody else. Type a password in exactly and then click submit. Once you've done that, that's all you need to do, and you will be able to then just wait for us to get back to you. We will populate everything, and eventually everything will go onto the parent portal, which you'll be able to have a look at. So I hope that made some sense to you. If you have any questions, please do refer back to the email address that I showed you. So I'll just go back over here and display those email addresses for you so you can take a note of it. Clearly, when you get this Google form, the email addresses will also be on the first page. So you don't have to worry about writing them down unless you really want to. Here we go. I'll just leave that there for a moment for you to write if you would like to write that down. So like I said, the first one is about any matters related to CCA options and selections. Please email cca@chis.edu.my. And if there are any matters related to IT issues, like password recovery, you've forgotten your password, the form isn't working, anything like that, please do forward that query to ict@chis.edu.my. Okay, so we are really, really excited about starting our CCAs. It's been a really difficult 2 years without any CCAs, and I'm sure you as parents and our students are very excited. We do ask for all your support and encouragement to make this a success. And yeah, I hope you guys really engage with this. And if you have any questions, please do get in touch. Thank you very much for listening, and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.